All right, everybody, so now we're looking at 9-18. We know that the angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. And so let's see if we can use that to figure out the missing angle measures here. So first off, we have to write an equation that represents each of the following situations. So in this first problem here, I have angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 equal 180 degrees. So I can pretty much just give these numbers, 1, 2, and 3 is what I'm choosing. So we do know that angle 1 is 30 degrees and angle 2 is 115 degrees. But we don't know what angle 3 is, so we can go ahead and just put in x. So here's our official equation to get started. How can we get x by itself? Right now it's paired with 115 and 30. Well, if we combine these two, we've got 145 plus x equals 180. How do we get that x by itself? Think about what you do here algebraically to get it by itself, and then what will x equal after your next step? And then we move on to the next problem. This time we have 1, 2, 3 angles that are all labeled x. So if they're all labeled x, then it's safe to assume that they are the same angle. Therefore, I could say I have 3x equals, well, they have to add up to 180, so 180. And there I've set up my problem. Now, how do I get x by itself? Right now it's paired with times 3. So how do I undo the multiplication? And then when you get the answer there, you're going to have x equals, and that's going to be the second answer to 18. So make sure you set up the problems just like we did here and we did down here and solve. And then additionally, use what we know about triangles and angle relationships to find the missing angles in the triangles below. So here, we're now dealing with like 2x, x plus 10, just like we did in our transversal problems. All you need to keep in mind is that all these angles add up to 180 in any triangle. It doesn't matter which one it is. And sometimes we may even have multiple triangles here. Doesn't matter. We still got 180, 180, and 180. So now use this and your knowledge of straight lines and your knowledge of alternate interior angles and so on to figure out what y is and what x is. And I promise you it helps if you set up equations and refer to your notes from this section. After you finish with B, move over to C, and we do have a kite here, a four-sided figure, but notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles inside of it. So see if you can use that to figure out what y is in this case. And then finally, you're going to end with your learning log. So after we have explored through a series of activities, what the angles in a triangle add up to, what did we learn all together? Go ahead, throw it in here. Maybe you learned, doesn't matter which triangle it is, but it's going to add up to 180. Maybe you learned a cool way of proving that through the parallel lines and the transversal method, or maybe you learned it through cutting out the angles and putting them together. Whatever it may be, throw it in here in your learning log so that way when you look back at it, you're going to remember exactly what it was that helped you figure out the answer. All right, that is it for today's lesson. Now you're going to hop on to the review and preview. So hop back to the document to get started on that. Nice job and keep it up.